Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Friday, April 12th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. It is week 15 of 2024, and in my neck of the woods, it is currently 54 degrees with a high of 57 and a low of 44. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my broadcast. I'm here for the next 3 hours for coloring, companionship, chat, friendship, giggles, and laughs. Pretty pictures. And most importantly, the what, the why, and the how of adult coloring. Hello, kitty. Hello, Julie. Oh my gosh, Julie, you're going nuts with Procreate. Love it. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who come in and chat with me. That is always fun and appreciated. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who watch this broadcast after the fact when it goes to video. And welcome to my Facebook peeps who watch this broadcast after the fact when it also goes to video in my group Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. All right. And hello, Dorothy. I know you're watching. You said you were watching on a device that you couldn't comment, but that's okay. Oh, my. All right, so Julie, Mamie, so glad to see ya. Hi, Mamie. Kitty, Mamie, Julie, so far. You're dressing your lifelike doll up for tomorrow, okay? What's going on tomorrow? Oh, you're going to go to the park tomorrow. Okay. Well, have fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab my paper towel, which is used to put underneath my hand when we're coloring. And, of course, my scrap page. I actually cleaned my desk last night of all my pencils that were scattered around. What a difference. All right, so we've got two projects. The first one is my duet, which is a freebie that I give away from one of my books. This is from Cats from Around the World Jubilee. This is Russia, obviously. One of my peeps requested that I do it. So I did. And then the second piece that I'm doing, this is from Adult Coloring Book by Tatiana Stilova. So we've been working on this. And I've been working on color changes. You know, you want your book, your page to tell a story. So this elephant here, we've got a transition going on. And the question is he going from pink to gray or gray to pink? And that's for the person that looks at this to decide. All right. Dorothy, I hope you're doing well. Say hi to Randy for me. Let me move a couple things around here. Okay. So last night when I left this, we were working on the red scarf. And we have a light, medium, and dark red. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to continue on this scarf. We put a little blue in it. I still have a little more that I want to do on the left here. Now, if you're new to my broadcast, first of all, would love it if you'd say hello. Hold on. There we go. I would love it if you would say hello. And second of all, don't hesitate to ask any questions. Okay, so I'm going to take my darkest red. And I'm going to pull it down on this scarf. Now, what I want you to realize, of course it helps if I stay in camera range, is that when we did this red at the top, there wasn't any other color underneath it. So it's the pure red, dark red. But now that I'm going to bring it down on this scarf, I'm going to bring it down on top of my other colors, and it's not as dark, but it does darken the whole thing a little bit. Mamie, does that make sense to you? Now, notice how that lighter color still stays visible. We're just shading it in a little bit. And see, that's the magic of colored pencil, that the colors that you put in on the bottom or underneath will stay visible. And now we've got that darker red that we like on the scarf. Okay, let's work on the other side. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap here between the two halves of the scarf, and I'm going to put a lighter color. And I'm going to run that lighter color all the way down. We want to have a little bit of a difference between them. So let's go ahead and start the dark. And just like the other half here, we're going to start that at the top. Hello, Linda. Linda and the three amigos. Uno, dos, tres. All right, let's take a peek at the picture we got from Linda. All right, here we go. Oh, Michelle, there you go. Michelle, that's a really cool cut on you. I like that style. Guys, what do you think? Michelle, looking good. Michelle, you're looking like a cutie pie. Okay. So now I'm going to hit my dark areas here. I think she looks very nice too. So let's go ahead and add this dark here in between our strands. Oh, Michelle says thanks. Michelle, you don't have to say thank you. You're the one that looks cool, looks good. Okay, so here's our dark. And then I'm going to come in with our medium. Now, if your medium spots are not abundantly clear, then just use your artistic chops, your artistic instinct, to make your piece look good. I don't know why I like these little strings on here. I just think that looks really cool. So guys, tell me how your day's going. Is it win, lose, or draw? And then I'm going to come in with my light color. Julie says, other than bad allergies, it's a draw. Okay. Julie, did you get your storage issues figured out on your devices? Linda says draw. Michelle says win because she's got a new haircut. Okay, Julie, good. Now, I want you to notice, see how orange this side looks? That's because of that light color that we put in. So now I'm going to come back with my darker color. Or darkest color, I should say. And we'll go over that light orange. And again, notice that we still have the lightness in the piece. This is why I put the light color down first before I put my darker on top of it. Make sure you understand that. Okay, got a hand sharpen. So again, check out how going over my lightest color with my darkest color, in this case, gives us a really neat look. Oh, Julie, so sorry. Julie, take care. Any questions at all about how I'm shading this? Okay. Now, I'm going to go up to the scarf underneath the neck, and there I'm basically going to be using my dark and my medium. So let's start up at the top here. And I want you to notice that I'm making sure that I'm poking into the fur so that we keep that fur looking the way it is. We want that jagged look. Now, even though this is a darker part of the sweater, I'm sorry, of the scarf, I'm going to come in with my medium color because I want that a little bit lighter. And this is where you need to keep your eyes open, and when you see something like this on your grayscale and you need to adjust it a little bit, that's fine. %98 of the time you're going to follow the grayscale, but every once in a while, if you see something that you want to change up a little bit, change it up. Now I've got my medium color in my hand. So I'm going to follow that around the scarf. And I will pull out in a second so you can see this. Suppose it would help if I stay in camera range. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my dark. You know how I went from dark here, then I went to medium, right? And I'm going to go back to dark again. Let me pull out so you can see. Now don't worry about these little white spots that we see. They are snowflakes. All right, let's get up in our little area here. And notice how I'm rounding off this end because it's going behind the neck of the cat. And then I'm going to poke up into the fur a little bit. To give us that nice fluffy look. Now remember guys, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please ask. And this is where it's especially important that you keep turning your pencil as you're when you color, when you lift, turn your pencil. Keeps it sharper and allows you to get into those little areas that we need to get into for this. All right, let me pull out. Guys, what do you think? Linda, by the way, I wanted to compliment you on your coloring of this piece. It's looking really good. And I'm very glad to see, Linda, that you're pacing me. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of my Payne's Gray Do not go crazy with it. Go very, very lightly. Butterfly kiss. And I'm going to highlight the folds a little bit. And I'm also going to go underneath the scarf right here on the cat fur. Very, very close. I mean, right on that edge. See that skinny line that I'm putting on there? Do not come down into the fur with this. Hi, Stacy. Stacy, I was just thinking about you. Okay, then a little more gray right here, Payne's Gray. See how I'm going inside of the fold on the material right here. Very, very lightly. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't overdo it with your Payne's Gray. Now I'm going to put some up here, and that's going to make this part right below it stick out a little more. See how that looks brighter right there? Stacy, how's the world treating you? Any question at all about how this gray is enhancing that scarf? and making it look folded. Isn't that cool? Not so hot at the moment, to be honest. Oh, Stacy, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of my Payne's Gray in between my two scarves, tails here, and a little bit in between my tassels. Be careful how you use it. You don't want it to look streaky. I'm just going to blend that a little bit. Stacy, what's going on? Do you care to share what's going on? Are you not feeling well? Now, check out that I'm putting just a little bit of the gray next to the scarf. I'm just skimming over the top here. Yep, I was thinking about you. Wondering how you were doing. Okay, it's not a health issue. Good. You really can't share publicly. That's fine. Okay, let me pull out. What do you think? We're basically done with the cat. I'm going to finger blend. Okay, and I'm going to take my eraser and I'm very lightly going to lighten up a little bit of the whisker and the fur. And I'm going to highlight by erasing a little bit on the white right next to the nostril. And again, I'm not pressing hard. I just wanted to emphasize that a little bit. Questions? A little bit of blending on the nose with a pink pencil. Mamie, what do you think? Michelle, what do you think? I'm just erasing around the nose. Got a little bit of pink on the white area. Okay. And then I'm going to erase on our little white emblem here that's on the hat because I want that to stand out. Let me look at that. Change the plan. Oh, she likes it? Good. Faber-Castell 103, ivory. Now I'm happy. Okay. Let's start playing with the background. Let me get out my eyeshadows and chalks. Okay, I'm going to use my eyeshadows tonight, which Mamie's going to laugh at because she just bought all those chalks. Mamie, you can do the same thing with your chalks. That's all right, Mamie. You still love me. Hi, Dum Dum. Domino. Okay. Okay, so here are my little eyeshadow thingies. And I'm going to use a very light turquoise blue. For those of you that don't have chalks, use eyeshadow. This is the color that I'm using. And we'll go ahead and we'll start putting that up at the top. What eyeshadow am I using? It was just some cheap brand that I bought off of Amazon. It has like 120 colors in it. Well, hello, Emily. Okay, gotta move my camera. Mamie, send me a text that that's what you want. That way I'll remember. Emily, Emily. I really like these applicators because they're long. I have large hands. These little puppies are 3 inches. Now notice how I am moving in a circular motion. You can move back and forth as well. In other words, change direction. with your eyeshadow. Remind me at 10:30 to send Mamie information about the eyeshadow and the eye applicators. All right.
Okay, I added send Mamie information about the eyeshadow and eye applicators for tomorrow 10:30 a.m.
Change time to 10:30 p.m.
Sorry, I can't edit events for you on Apple Watch.
All right, let me pull out. Remind me at 10:30 p.m. to send Mamie information about eyeshadow and eyeshadow applicators.
Okay, I added send Mamie information about eyeshadow and eyeshadow applicators for tonight at 10:30 p.m.
Guys, what do you think so far? Isn't that beautiful? All right, so we've got a little bit of our darker color here. And I want you to notice here around the hat, we've got our patches of our darker turquoise here, or our turquoise. Oh yeah, it's pretty gorgeous actually. Pretty gorgeous. Hold on, gotta clean up a little bit around the building here. And notice how that looks like a cloudy sky. Because of the way that I'm putting the blue on. I'm not putting it on as a solid blue. Check it out. If you can't see it, let me know and I'll get closer. Let's go up here. Doggone, that's pretty. All right, let me pull out. Now, I'm going to come in with a slightly darker turquoise. Or blue, whatever you want to call it. And add that to the sky. Now, notice that I'm not covering up everything, right? But you can see the addition of the slightly darker blue. Everybody see that? I'm just adding a little bit. A little dab will do ya. And notice that I'm not covering up the previous blue all the way with it. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll add the eyeshadow and then I'll just go ahead and smudge it with my finger. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got eyeshadow on my applicator and I don't want to add any more, but I do want to smudge this. So that's why I'm using my finger. I could use a clean part of the applicator, but that's fine. See how I'm using the different shades of blue near the flag? Okay. Now, I'm going to come in with a very, very light shade of gray. And the reason for that is because it's snowing. And that means our sky is a little gray. That gray is very, very light. All right. Doesn't that look cool? I'm going to add just a little bit more gray here. Now, I want you to notice when I'm adding my gray, let me zoom in so you can see this. Is this large area right here? Okay, Kitty, thank you. I'm adding a little patch of gray in the center. So I'm putting the gray on the gray, but I'm making it a little darker. And I'm going to do the same over here. Look how cool that looks. I'm just not blending it in completely like I did before. So we've got the gray on the gray. All right, let me pull out. Everybody see that? Look how varied in color. I used two blues up here. I used the same gray, but I let the gray bunch up in my darker areas, for lack of a better word. So we've got a nice stormy sky going. Hi, Sarah. Okay, now I'm going to go to the bottom. The cat is sitting on snow, right? So I'm going to take the same blue that I used in the sky, and around the edges of this area here, I'm just going to put that blue. And notice how the combination of the blue and the white makes it look like snow. And I'm going to go ahead and carry that blue over the gray that's on the bottom. And you've got to go over your lettering. Otherwise, you're going to have a funny gray patch there. Let me move this down a little bit. Okay, everybody see that? I went on the edge of the white to make the snow that the cat is sitting directly on. And then down here, I put the blue all over. Oh my, excuse me. Let me pull out. Check it out, guys. All right. Oh, Linda, thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and take my paper towel and blend that and the sky. It's not a blending, it's a combination blending and pushing the eyeshadow into the paper. Okay, let me put my eyeshadow away. There we go. And Mamie, you've got the range of colors on your Faber-Castell to do this sky. All right. Thank you, Stacy. If that doesn't look cool, I don't know what does. All right, one last area I have to color. We need to do our cars. And I'm going to come in with a medium gray. Camera adjustment here. go. Now, the cars are pretty nondescript. So I'm going to use my medium gray on the darker areas. Now I've got tires here. So we want to go ahead and very lightly use a little bit of black. Again, very, very lightly. Just enough to define. And then we'll go back to our gray. Now I want you to notice on the cars, we're not going into a lot of detail. We're adding enough color to make them visible. Because right now, if you look at the difference between these two cars that I just did and these other ones to the right, the bus and the several cars here, they just disappear. They look like little blobs. So I'm adding just enough shading with my medium gray to bring them forward a little bit. Everybody clear on that? And then I'm going to come in with a light gray. Same idea. And on the light areas, we'll add that little touch. And I'm going to blend my previous gray that I put on there. Now, these cars and buses in the background are meant to be a little blurry. That's why I'm not defining them. I'm actually going to grab a little bit of white on this car here. And just put that line in to make the panel of the car. Same with my van. I'm just touching up with a little bit of white on the van, on the bus. And then finger blend across everything. Any questions how I'm doing this? I need to add a little bit of black on this back tire here. Now mind you, when I'm putting in the black, I'm barely touching the paper. Here's the thing. When the human mind looks at a picture, it tries to make sense as to what's going on. So that little blob of black right there is compelling the observer of your colored piece to say that that's a tire. Let's see. I'm going to add just a little more gray right here on this last car. And again, make darn sure that your colors are blended in. Do not put in any stripes. All right. Now I'm going to take my medium gray and I'm going to touch up a couple of things on the buildings. Now this is specific to the way that I colored this. You may not have to do any touch-up on yours. But I am defining some of my gray areas just a little bit more. And in fact, that's something that I want you to do. I realize I just contradicted myself. I do want you to touch up this gray a little bit. Don't forget to turn your pencil. It's not a lot of touch-up. It's just enough to bring this into focus a little more. I started out when I started doing this, I started out making touch-ups that were specific to me, but that's why I changed my mind and am telling you to define this gray a little more. Don't go nuts with it. Oh, yeah. Much better. And guys, this is where you need to think about finessing the piece. I talk a lot about that. That as I started to touch up this gray, it was looking better to enhance the horizontal grays on the buildings and some of the verticals. Does that make sense? Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going to shade along this wall that's surrounding the building, just on the very top of the wall, in between the cars. Hello, Dagmar. Welcome. Okay, let's pull out. Questions? Comments? Okay, now we're going to play with some paint. So this is obviously a snowy scene. And when we first started this, there was a lot of dots all over it, like up at the top and so forth. So obviously this is a stormy area. So I'm going to pull my paint. This is my Snow White paint. But before I do that, I'm going to pull my workable fix tiff. And because I'm going to be putting paint on this, I don't want the paint to pick up the color of the pencil. You're going to hear a little bit of clacking. Let me turn on my little mini fan here. And I'm going to spray this. Okay. Uh-oh, we're getting a raid. Hi, Ron. Now, when you spray with the Fix Stiff, it makes your colors a little more vibrant. Miss Southern Belle Raid. Hi, ZT. You guys are just in time to see the last steps on this. Okay. Thank you, ZT. This particular piece is from my book, Cats from Around the World Jubilee. Oh, Belle, that's okay. I know you were broadcasting. Don't apologize for that. So this particular book has the different cats from around the world with the flags of the particular country. And that's the cover. I love this one from France. I think that's really cool. Israel, Japan, India. So, all over the world. Good night, Life with Ron. Hello, Scott. Okay, now I've got to let this dry. Yes, I finished the scarf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to my second piece that I normally do while this dries, and then I'm going to come back to it because I'm going to be adding my white acrylic paint. And as I told you, if I add it before putting on this protective coating of the spray, the paint would pick up the color. Okay, so this is from the adult coloring book, Tatiana Silova. Set timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, counting down.
And last night I worked on our little elephant. Who else is in here? Scott, I don't think you've been in here before, have you? Okay. Now, we've got a pillow up here, and we've got apparently a hot water bottle. And I gotta be honest with you. Oh, you were in here once before? Oh, okay, Scott. Cool. So I'm not particularly fond of the pattern that's on what I think is this pillow. So I'm going to alter the picture, and I want to show you how to do that. Very simple. I'm going to extend this line down. You can use a number 2 pencil to do this. And I'm going to make it look as though she's sleeping on a mat. Let's see here. And what I'm going to do, because I'm not really thrilled with the flower pattern up here, is I'm going to take a black Sharpie marker and I'm going to make this a background. Now, one of the things that I encourage you to do in your colorings is to use black. Anybody care to speculate why? That's a very good term to use, grounding color. It also makes yes, Scott, thank you, a strong contrast. And what it does is it makes your other colors look what? More vibrant. Now, you can use black Sharpie marker, you can use your alcohol markers. And as I pointed out earlier, I'm using black on parts of the picture that I don't like. Now, very rarely do I do that. Is black out areas I don't like. In fact, this may be even the first time that I've done that. The whole point is, guys, is I don't want you to be afraid of making the picture your own within the context of what's going on. In other words, don't get stupid with it. But you should have no hesitation at all to make alterations on your picture. And I don't want you to dismiss black. Anybody have the heebie-jeebies about doing something like this? Hi, Thomas. Thomas, don't apologize. Yeah, Kitty, you've done this on mandalas? Now, Scott, the way that you take care of streakiness on markers if you run into that kind of problem, is that you get a pencil of a comparable color and color out the streaks. And by the way, guys, if you're a member of my group, I've got a new book out now called Mischievous Fairies Jubilee. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of it on Sunday. Scott, do you see how I'm doing this with the marker? Is I'm just progressing across, going straight up and down. Thomas, I've got another hour yet. So no, I'm not almost done. Guys, do me a favor, push that like button. Hi, Maggie. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday to one and all. Oh, Maggie, that was nice of Allie. That's very mature of her. Well, Thomas, you can also watch the replay if you miss anything. Scott, the trick is to do a continuous stroke with your marker. Yeah, in the close-up view, you can probably see, a little bit of the pattern. But enough of it goes away that it's not a big issue. That's why I'm using black. Oh, your second eye goes 5:14 appointment. Everything went well. Super. Maggie, how is your vision in the first eye that you had the cataract removal? Scott, I'm working on cardstock, and it does go through the back of the paper. See it? Now, when I'm filling this in, I want you to notice that even though I have the black at the bottom, I'm still going all the way down to the bottom because I want that fill-in to be continuous. And Scott, the trick is also that once you start doing the area with the marker, is to continue all the way through on your area. Try not to stop. Maggie, I'm using a Sharpie. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, so let's work the area here. And notice that I outline the area and then I fill it in. Okay. Now let's start our area around the other side of the cap. Unfortunately, we're going to lose our 3 little um, hairs off our teddy bear, but that's okay. Isn't that beautiful? Scott, is this helping you? I don't know about you, but there's something very satisfying about doing this. I like filling in black areas. I can't explain it. You know how sometimes when you watch a video reel on Facebook and they show processes or things happening? Guys, don't be afraid of black. Okay, let me pull out. Okay, now I'm into the area where I drew the lines. To extend this black mat. Okay. Now, I have no idea what this little line is right here. So, I'm going to cover it with my marker. And then I'm going to come down here. You can see the pencil line that I drew in. I need to turn this. Okay, and then I'm going to do what? My up and down stroke. And remember, you still want to go all the way to the edge, even though you drew the outline in. Okay. Actually, I've already made a mandala book. And it's a little bit different than the normal ones, or the typical ones, in that my mandalas are, they're picture mandalas. Maggie, would you do me a favor and look up my picture mandala book and post the link here in the chat? Go into, Maggie, go into the coloring book catalog for the group. Thank you, Maggie. Okay, now let me pull out Kitty. Hold on a couple minutes and Maggie's going to get that link for you. Linda, good night. Sorry about your headache. Okay, so notice I'm outlining my areas here. And then coloring them in. Any suggestion on what to color first on a coloring page, or is it just all personally preference? Maggie, do you have the link? Can you share the link, please? Scott, the way that I approach a coloring page is that, of course, I, check out what I'm going to do with it and think about what I'm going to do with it. And then I pick an area and color that area, and then everything goes from there. And that's especially helpful if you have a page that you're not sure what to color first. Then I suggest that you pick out the familiar. Yeah, Maggie's going to get that link for you guys. Yes, it's an easy mandala book, Kitty. Okay, now. Oh, good point. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. Stacy, I'm glad one of us is thinking, because obviously it's not me. Scott, I make color selections as I go. Now, I have a general idea of what I want to do, but as I've mentioned to you guys, as you color a picture, things change. So your ideas may change. I don't lock myself into a particular set of colors. That's why I don't reselect. Maggie, I made you a standard moderator. So you can go in and add a link now. Stacy slapped me on the side of the head and reminded me that you couldn't post a link. What am I having for dinner tonight? Haven't a clue. Haven't even thought about it. Oh my. Okay. Now, if you have little bumpies on your black from your marker, what you need to do is go through and draw and color in the bottom, the line, and make it smooth. So get rid of those little bumpies. I'm actually thinking about having chili. Okay, let me pull out. Guys, what do you think? Honestly, Thomas, I don't have the budget to order in. Okay, what do you think? Guys, don't be afraid of black. And I like this a lot better than all those little funny thingies. I got to smooth out my top here. Let's see. I'm going to round this up a little bit. Just to make that more interesting. Okay. Now I'm happy with it. Oh, there you go, Thomas. It looks like a dragon under the night sky. Now, what I want you to notice on this piece as well is that I've drawn the bottom part of the background. Oh, the only blue thing is, okay. Maggie, I'll go ahead and take care of that. Guys, give me a second here. Let me see if I can find that mandala for you. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that there's a Mother's Day book. Any other questions about how I've done this dragon page? I'm finding it. Kitty, I found it. I'll have it posted in 2 seconds here for you. Okay, there you go. Okay. Oh, you want me to add stars to this? Oh, that's a thought. Thomas, you'll just have to remind me as I get near the end of this. I think that's a good idea. I can add stars to it. Okay, my cat page has dried. I'm just rolling it backwards to flatten it out. This is the spray that I put on it, the Workable Fixative. And the reason that I did that is because I'm going to add my paint to this. So I'm going to get out my Maggie, I think it was my mistake because I hadn't made you a moderator. Stacy pointed that out to me. So it wasn't you. Okay. So I'm going to take my white paint and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some snow on top of these buildings. So I've got my handy dandy brush. And I'm going to start dabbing it on. Now, again, the reason that I put the fixative on it first is because I didn't want the color to come through into the paint. If you put paint directly on colored pencil, that color will come up and tint your paint. Thomas, I know I don't have to add the stars. I do want to add the stars. Now, I want you to notice when I'm putting on this paint is I'm not just putting on a straight line. See how I'm making the edge rough? Makes it look more realistic. And I want you to notice that I'm dabbing on the paint. I'm not stroking it on, I'm dabbing it on. Now, don't go crazy with your paint. Again, notice that I'm making it rough if I stay in the picture. Any questions so far? Thomas, we need to get you to have a little more confidence. You asked for stars. I considered it, and I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I think Belle would have enjoyed this if she were here. She likes stuff like this. Oh, Belle, you're here. Good. Thomas thought you weren't. Oh, let me get here. Okay. Now, these little bricks that I added, guess what? We need to add some snow on there too. That'll teach me to show you detail, huh? So what do you guys think of the snow? You'll see the effect when I pull out. Right now you're seeing the detail. Now remember, don't make your lines straight across. You want to make them a little wiggly. Okay. Let me pull out. Okay, Stacy, thank you. Now, when I do the snow down here, see how I'm doing that a little bit broader? And I'm pressing in with my brush. So when I'm doing that, I'm doing more of a what? More of a paint stroke. Now, if you get some on your cat or your scarf, just immediately wipe it with your finger. Check it out. What do you think? Okay, Stacy, thank you. You know I always appreciate you guys when you tell me when you step out. Okay, now comes the fun, messy part. Let me pull out. Actually, I'm not even going to bother using my green protector because I've got this vinyl. Just in case you guys didn't know, This surface is vinyl. I bought it to make my the table look really cool. Okay, now I'm going to add water to my paint. I have this paint right here in this little dish. Okay, kitty. And I'm going to thin that paint. Let me zoom in. Can anybody guess what's coming? And then I'm going to take that paint. Oh, Kitty, you're done with the mandala? Cool. Now, if you thin your paint too much, which I have, just add a little more paint. Can anybody tell me what's coming that I'm going to be doing? So I'm going to slightly load up my brush. And I'm going to hold it over my piece and I'm going to tap my brush. That's right, Scott. Now, even if this paint gets on my splatter, that's right. Even if this paint gets on my vinyl, I can just take a damp paper towel. Even if it dries, I'll just take a damp paper towel and wipe it up. Oops. And if you get a splatter that you don't like, just wipe it up with your finger or a paper towel real quick. Now, some of these spots are bigger. So I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to make them bigger. go. I feel like an artist. Now, I happen to like the large and the small snowflakes. And I want you to notice that I'm avoiding putting the dots of paint on the buildings because I don't want to take away from the piles of snow that I've already colored in. Does that make sense? I just want to leave the small dots on the building. So my larger ones, I'm putting elsewhere, and I want you to notice that I'm angling them up a little bit. Guys, what do you think? I'm an artist. Now, as fun as it is to do this, you don't want to overdo your paint splatter. And also make sure that you don't glob it in one area. Now, listen to me. The really neat thing about this paint is because it's the acrylic paint, is once it dries, if you decide that you don't like your paint in a particular area, all you have to do is take your pencil of the color of the area that you're at and color it out. Let me do this on the flag. So let's say that you don't like one of the dots. Just take your, in this case, just take your red pencil and color it out. Everybody see how I did that? It's really simple. And you can do this even after the paint has dried. Isn't that cool? Now, if you don't like the shape of a paint splatter, you can also do the same thing. And again, even after the paint has dried, you can do this. Just color around it. Oh, it dries. Yeah, it's still wet. The larger dots still have some wet spot on it. But I would say within 10 minutes, this dries. Now, you can also take your blending pencil and if you don't like a particular dot someplace, nope, that's not going to work. You got to use the color. You have to color over it. The paint is too dry for me to take it off with my blending pencil. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of my paint splatter I can do one of two things on this title for Russia. I can either color it in with my black marker or I can color it with my splatter. And I think it'll look cool with the splatter. Actually, I haven't splattered the bottom of this page, but I'm doing that now. Guys, I'm calling this done. I missed a little to the right here. And if you accidentally get paint in the eyes, just color the eyes back over with your, on the pupil, the black marker. Okay, I really got to quit splattering this. Now, is everybody clear how to splatter? I'm just holding this in my hand like this, taking my finger and tapping my wet brush over the top after I've loaded it with paint. Scott, I'll answer your question in a second. I'm just painting in a couple more of my larger snowflakes. So you can do a combination of splattering it in and painting it in. Okay. Scott, this is called Krylon Workable Fixative. And what it does, it protects pencil and pastel and chalk drawings, prevents smudging and wrinkling, allows easy rework, and acid-free archival. Now, the one you need to get is the 1306. It's a matte spray, and once you spray it, it disappears. Does anybody want me to include the link to that in the chat here? Give me a second, I'll find it for you. And as you guys have noticed, I always spray all my pieces after I do it. Here you go. Now, the next question somebody should be asking is, do you spray your Krylon spray over your paint? And the answer is yes. So I'm going to shake, they're going to hear clicking again. Hold on, let me reach and do something here. And you spray it again. Doesn't that look cool? So of course I'll have to let that dry. Now, even after you sprayed your piece, you can still go ahead and color over it. That's the neat thing about it. But you want to make sure that it's dry. Any questions from anybody? Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. I'm calling this one done, guys. I hope you enjoyed the project. Okay, so we worked on our cat. This is from Cats from Around the World Jubilee. We also worked on our little sleeping dragon. This is from Adult Coloring Book. That's the title of the book, by Tatalina Stilova. And I showed you how to add that background and use marker. I'll tell you what, tonight really flew. Okay, guys, this is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. Guys, love on each other. That's what we're known for. And I'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. I will have a new duet posted. So please be on the lookout for that in my group, Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick on Facebook. All right, guys, have a great rest of the evening. Hold on, let me give you a really good shot of the cat. I think he's looking pretty cool, don't you? I love this cat. Guys, hit that like button. Love you guys. You know I mean that. And please, you can share this broadcast on your timeline. Tell your friends. All right. Until tomorrow night then. Have a great evening. I did. And will. Bye.